Hey guys, in today's video we're going to be talking about how to be happier. Now, before we start the video, I just want to say that happiness is subjective to everybody. Whether you like to do stuff different than other people or you just like different things that make you happy. So I want you guys to take this video with a grain of salt. So, I hope you enjoy. Nobody really teaches us how to be happy. We're told to chase things, people, achievements, relationships. But no one really tells us that we need to learn how to be happy. And that's where I want to start. The main thing is that you need to learn how to be alone. Now, being alone doesn't mean being lonely, and that took me a while to understand. There's a difference between being lonely and being at peace in solitude. Loneliness is wanting someone to fill a space inside you, and solitude is realizing that space is already yours. Learning how to be alone is one of the most important things you can do for your happiness, even if you have a partner. Actually, especially if you have a partner. Because when we spend a lot of time with one person, we start to crave them constantly. And then when they're not there, when they're busy or tired or just living their own life, we feel this emptiness. We get sad, anxious, and we feel unsettled. Not because they did anything wrong, but because we forgot how to sit with ourselves. When you sit alone with your thoughts and you realize that you're overthinking or that, whatever you're thinking is negative, something clicks. You realize that this mindset that I have, these thoughts that I have are negative. Most of the time when we're alone, we have time to think, a lot of time to think. And thinking is good, but thinking becomes overthinking, and overthinking becomes a reality because we tend to believe what we overthink about. We play a movie in our minds about how something is, and in reality it's nothing like that, or we just over exaggerate a lot. When you realize that you're okay. You can realize that you can enjoy moments without sharing them to other people or having to have the validation that comes with telling people that you did something or sharing something with somebody. When you learn how to be alone, you stop fearing being alone. And loneliness, while inevitable, stops controlling you. Because when you're alone, you get familiar with it. It doesn't scare you anymore. And I'm not saying being alone is scary, because you can find peace in being alone. But in those moments where you have negative thoughts that control you, if you learn how to ignore those thoughts, if you learn how to stay away from that and learn how to be alone, you stop being scared of what comes next. And you stop thinking about future stuff. You start thinking about the present and what's in front of you. Which brings me to my next point. The first thing that we have to think about is that happiness isn't just about solitude. It's a lot of things that work together. And I'm going to focus on 4 different things in this video. The first thing I want to talk about is gratitude. Not the fake BS about, oh, I'm grateful. I mean real gratitude, like pausing and realizing I'm breathing, I'm here. I survived things that I thought I wouldn't survive. And like I said, happiness is subjective. Not everybody can be grateful about the same things. Some people don't want to be in this world because they find it sad, they find it bleak, they find it not worth it. And they can't be grateful for the same things that someone who values and enjoys their life a little bit more can. So you have to find what you are grateful for. Really think deep into your mind what you're really grateful for. The second thing is having something that's yours. A hobby, music, writing, working out, drawing, learning something new. Something you do not to impress anyone, but because it makes time disappear. That's where joy hides, because you can spend hours doing something that you enjoy. And when you spend hours doing something that you enjoy, that's a different type of happiness. The third thing I want to talk about is letting go of comparison. And this is a big one, because everybody has heard that comparison is the thief of joy. The moment you start measuring your life against someone else's, happiness leaves the room completely. You're not late. You're not behind. You're just on your own timeline. When you worry about present and not the future, not what everybody else has, and you're not comparing yourself to somebody else when it comes to their life, in general, in anything, if you start comparing to someone else and you don't learn from that comparison and you just do it to negatively talk, it's going to affect you. So you need to start to learn. You need to start to value yourself a little bit more. My fourth point is accepting that bad days don't mean a bad life. You can be unhappy today. Something might happen throughout your day, but you can still be happy overall. And not letting those little things affect you is one of the biggest things that I can tell you to be able to get that happiness out of your body, to get that happiness to show, to get that happiness to show up in your life. Because when you realize that the little things don't matter as much as you think on the grand scheme of your life, you start to ignore the negative things that happen in your life, and you start thinking more positively. You start being more kind to yourself. That's another point that I want to talk about. You have to be kind to yourself. Talk to yourself the way you talk to a friend about anything. Someone who's struggling, a friend of you that's struggling, if you want to talk to them about how to get better, you wouldn't call them weak just because they're tired or because they're depressed or because they're going through something in their life. And you have to give that yourself that same exact talk. Because if you can give that talk to somebody else, there's nothing stopping you from using the same points and the same things that you told that person on your own life and putting it in motion. Now, you have to think about this. Happiness isn't loud, it's quiet. It's not going to come fast, and it's going to take some time. But you have to be ready to put everything into making your life better, into making your life happier. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that's promised on this earth is death. And if you spent your whole life not wanting to live it, not taking full potential of what you can and cannot do in your life, what was the point of you being alive in the first place? So please, take time to be alone. Take time to talk to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Accept the bad things in your life and turn them into positive thoughts. And I mean, really do this. Be grateful for what you have. Happiness isn't going to come fast. And it's not going to be you sitting alone and not feeling the need to escape. It's going to be you escaping from it. And escaping from the bad thoughts that you have, because ultimately that is the source of your unhappiness, yourself. We can do anything we want with our mindset, and when we change our mindset for the better, that's when we change our life in general. You can enjoy someone's presence without needing it. You can be alone for an hour, 2 hours, just with your own thoughts, and enjoy just being with yourself. You don't have to hate yourself. You can be someone different that you would like. But you have to make that first step to change. And once you realize that, everything else is going to become way lighter. I hope you guys enjoyed, and again, remind yourself, talk to yourself every day, and think about the things that you have in your life.